Mikhail Saakashvili, former president of Georgia. He joins me now live in Kiev. Mr. President, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Let's first just begin with Vladimir Putin's timing here. I understand you think it's very, very deliberate because right now so much of the world is focusing on Iraq, Syria, ISIS, that Putin is choosing this moment to launch this new offensive.
Yes, actually, I think in a way, he thinks that the tragedy that's happening in the Middle East is a blessing in the sky for him because it really diverts world's attention away from another tragic situation which is happening in Ukraine, daily killings, shellings, lots of civilian population displaced, seizing of another country's territory, which happens to be the largest country in Europe. So it's really a big geopolitical drama which had kind of dropped off from the radars of at least wider television audiences, and certainly it's helping Putin.
So here you have then Secretary Kerry, where you are in Kiev today, and this notion of potentially having the United States, lethally arm Ukrainians ahead of this, larger fight. Do you think that there's any risk in arming Ukrainians?
Well, look, I mean, there has been an ongoing debate for quite a long time. And there are situations when weapons can only be stopped with weapons. And, the situation reminds me of the war in Afghanistan, when actually Soviets lost it through combination of two factors: the lower oil price, gas price, and the arm pads, Stinger missiles that President Reagan supplied to Afghan rebels. Now, you have again dropping oil price, you have again revanchist aggressive Russia, and actually what really the Ukrainians really need at this stage, and what they've been desperately asking for, was anti-armor weapons, because they are being attacked by Russian armor, obviously. They are being attacked by Russian artillery, so they need artillery discovered devices, they are artillery raiders, and they need unmanned flying vehicles. So that's what Americans might be giving them now. I think it's high time to give it, because actually Hillary Clinton had the point when she said, well, Ukrainians actually deserved it through their heroic resistance. They really are standing up to this overwhelming Russian force. And, and Putin, it's not by any accident that Putin started to talk now, because he learned that American weapons are on their way. So he will again try to win time. He will try to seize the eastern and southern parts of Ukraine, and then try to force Ukrainian forces to flee and go for a coup in Kiev. That's more or less his plan, but it can be stopped through concentrated actions of Ukrainians and their Western allies. And I think at this step, in terms of weapons, is the step in the right direction, certainly.
So it's interesting. You sound like you're saying you think Putin is being reactionary because he's hearing the U.S. may be arming some of these Ukrainians, but you know very, very well, as Putin as an enemy and fighting up against him. When we talk about the crippled Russian economy, despite all of these sanctions that continue to be slapped on, he continues to push. It's impossible to climb inside his brain. But my question to you would be, what is he thinking?
Well, I think he knows that Russian economy is in dire straits. He knows that Russia is heading for collapse, but he's betting on Ukraine collapsing first. And what he thinks is that if Ukraine collapses within the next several months, if he arranges regime change in Kiev through combination of economic pressure, chaos, military defeat, then he might get another couple of years until oil prices rebound, until there is some kind of a change of U.S. administration, or maybe some other changes in Western capitals, and people just give him he gets another maybe another 10 or 15, 20 years at the helm of Russia. He really is gambling now on this. And I think it very much reminds me of the situation of 2008. What happened in 2008, because today we also have European leaders here in Kiev, we had Europeans doing mediation, but Europeans are from Venus and the Americans are from Mars. So only Americans stepping in 2008 and saying, we will basically arrange something like no-fly zone over Georgia. We will go for military humanitarian intervention. Stopped Putin. It wasn't European mediation. He basically used European mediation to buy time, to maneuver, to get some propaganda advantage, but he never fought to stop. Indeed, after he signed ceasefires with Europeans, then it was France of President Sarkozy, he advanced. And then it took the United States to make decisive military statements and moves on the ground with the use of Sixth Fleet and aviation for them to stop. So this guy only understand sheer force. This is not the guy who understands goodwill or diplomacy. He couldn't care less. He would be cynical. He would go for deceit. So, anybody who is dealing with him should know that he is not somebody to rely on this peaceful talks. But certainly, he's somebody who clearly understands the language of toughness when the other side is willing to be tough. Except that until now, very few people were willing to be tough, and it was all left to the Ukrainians to stand up for themselves. Even if it's basically they're fighting the fight of the free world. This is for freedom and values of freedom, world, or the democracy that is being at stake right now.
President Saakashvili, I mean, you walked through exactly what happened and what you experienced in 2008. In 20 seconds, what does your gut say about Ukraine, the future?
I think it all depends upon the Westerners. I mean, the Ukrainians are showing miracles of heroism. This country deserves to be helped, and it's in the interest of the West and the United States to rescue them, because by that they are rescuing the idea of freedom, democracy, and basically Americans won three wars in Europe: First World War, Second World War, and the Cold War. They are not good. They are not willing. I guess they are not willing to lose now. And they should not lose now, and they will not lose now. In the end, Putin will collapse. The issue will be at what cost and at what stage. It should not be too late and at too much cost. I think we should have known better than that. I think we are on the right track right now.
Okay, let's hope so. Mikhail Saakashvili, former president of Georgia, live in Kiev. Thank you for the time.